Good day everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll just take you through my pantry. I did mention this the last time video on grocery shopping, and so I just wanted to share with you what items I keep in my kitchen pantry. Alright, let's just go to my kitchen. I do follow the Alkaline Electric Vegan Guide from Dr. Sebi. I'll go through what's in my fridge first. I did some grocery shopping a few days ago, and so at least I've got something in my fridge. But I'll insert a photo of my fridge a few days ago, or probably a week ago. It's just, there's nothing in there but my cosmetics and makeup and perfume. Anyway, I'll go through the so what's in my fridge right now. So that's what the fridge looks like. What is this? I've got dates, walnuts, hemp seed, coconut flakes, hemp seed, Brazil nuts. I've got a few acidic food like achara, and I've got cream cheese, tahini, sun-dried tomatoes, hemp seed. I think that's jam, veganese, mint. I still have a lot of this Berocca, but I don't take it anymore. Oil of oregano. This is my toothpaste. So baking soda and coconut oil. Vitamin E, but I don't take this. I mix it with a moisturizer. Put it on my face. And I have a few of this Berocca, but I don't take it anymore. I mean, I've keep a few lipsticks in here that I like. That's full of skincare. I've got walnuts and olives here. This is quinoa, Brazil nuts, walnuts. That's tomato sauce. I've got dates, more dates in here. What is this? Yeah, so that's dates, it's coconuts. I am defrosting this because I want to make raspberry jam. That's got some of the perfume. These are all makeup. And these are desserts I got from an Asian store, so I just keep that for when I have guests, because then I have instant desserts. Got mushrooms, pear, cherry tomatoes. I've got cucumber there, so those are all Sebi approved. Some more pears and then apples in there. I keep it that way so it lasts longer. And that's what my fridge looks like. The structure here is faulty, so I just took that off, and it used to have milk and water, but we take milk these days. And that's the fridge. Okay, now for the freezer. I did some food prepping the other day, and so that's why my fridge is full. First level here, it's got all my alkaline food, so that will be frozen chickpeas, quinoa, and I've got a lot of the frozen raspberry and blueberries in there. I like making smoothies out of that. Oh, and then I made some meatballs. Well, that will be like chickpea balls. And then the second half is full of acidic food. So these are the food that I keep for when I have guests, and that's what I serve. My fridge is full. And now my pantry. So I've got spring water. So these are just smaller bottles. I use this sparkling water, especially when I make pancakes. I use that rather than the normal spring water. And this is where I keep all the pastas that I have. Alright, so I'll just pick out one. This is my favorite pasta, and it's the organic Khorasan wheat spaghetti, and it's the kamut flour. Khorasan also means kamut. I love this because I can have this pasta with olive oil and salt and cayenne pepper, and that's my meal. And you see, I have a lot of those pastas. I buy in bulk. And I've got a few of these as well. I buy a lot of the kamut pasta. And the brand is called Girolomoni. So organic Khorasan wheat penne rigate. I've also got this. It's penne, but it's made of wholemeal spelt. But honestly, I prefer the Khorasan one than the spelt. And that's why I have more of the kamut. So I've got pastas there. And have some more here. So I've got the extra virgin coconut oil. When I use coconut oil these days, I don't subject them to heat. Dr. Sebi says don't heat the coconut oil. So I use this like butter on my tortilla or when I make my own bread. So I've got here coconut flakes. These are all my flours. The chickpea flour, quinoa flour, and I've got some Irish sea moss in there. And the only flour I buy now is the kamut. So this will be the kamut flour. So I've got chickpeas, and quinoa at the back. So that's where I keep it. Okay, so I've got my Espresso Maker there, but I don't drink coffee anymore, so I don't really use it. I'll use it when I have guests. So I want coffee. So this is where I keep some of my teas. So this is chamomile. I keep the chamomile here. I take chamomile every night. I've got, so these are all my teas. Sarsaparilla. So that's dandelion there. So, and I've got elderberry. Got wild crafted yellow duck, damiana, and what is this? I think this is dandelion root. What else have I got in here? Blessed thistle, rhubarb roots, that's raspberry leaves, the gundi from the Philippines. What else do I keep in here? I have some of these nori sheets. Sometimes I just eat that as is, like when I'm craving for something salty. What else do I got in here? I've got sesame seeds, and I meant to toast it in the oven, but my oven is still broken. I had it repaired, but then I used it once and it broke again, so I really need to buy a new oven. So when I buy my herbal teas, they all come in packages like this, but I like to transfer them in containers. Okay, on this side, my agave syrup. This is a maple syrup container, but it's actually, I just fill it with agave. These are all my sweets, dried figs. That's like my chocolate. Yeah, that's figs as well. Oh, and I have organic sage in here. Use it as tea. And then these are all my capsules, because I make my own capsules. So that's pau de arco, cascara sagrada. So I make my own bromide. Got more walnuts there. I forgot and I had that. I think those are spelt pasta from San Remo. I do like buying in bulk. What's this? So I buy this Northbrook spring water from Aldi. So that's 10 liters and it will last me for a week. So in terms of frying and cooking and baking, use the grapeseed oil. It's called Azalea. I get this from Woolworths here in Australia. So they tend to go on 50% off. So I buy in bulk. That bottle is like 1 liter. That's agave syrup. So here I've got olive oil, and olive oil I don't subject olive oil in heat because Dr. Sebi said don't. And so I only add it to salads or pastas, but I never use it for cooking. Alright, and so that's sea salt. I use sesame oil for frying as well. I use the grapeseed oil especially when I am baking tortillas, but when I'm just sauteing, I use sesame oil. That's extra olive oil, and I just keep some of this acidic food in here just so when I have friends over, they cook here in my house, I still keep some ingredients for them to use, but on my own I actually don't use those. Very simple now. And so these are all the spices that I use. So I use sea salt, and this is cayenne pepper. Sesame seeds is onion powder, dill, parsley, allspice, oregano, and coriander. And sometimes I use some of these. I think this is, this is ginger powder. I've got parsley, basil, oregano. Is this again? I forgot, I don't know what that is. Yeah, so these are more sesame oil. That's Himalayan salt. I keep some of extra items because I like putting them in smaller containers like these, and so the rest is just in there. And then I keep some of the spices here and the herbs and spices in here in their original container. I'm on my own, but I buy in bulk because that's how I want it to be. I'm finding that my cooking and eating has become simpler. I don't necessarily follow the usual breakfast, lunch, dinner. I tend to eat when I'm hungry because I do intermittent fasting. When I'll have my meal at 8:30, I will stop eating at 4:30. Sometimes 3:30, but that would be my day. So I snack on walnuts or Brazil nuts, and if I crave sweets, then I'll have dates or figs, or I will have fresh fruits. I like cantaloupe or melon, so I tend to finish up like one whole cantaloupe for the whole day, because I still have a few acidic food I keep, so for when I have people around, but it tends to be the one in my freezer. I don't keep a lot of snack items anymore because I find that when I keep those food in the house, I will end up eating them, so I don't. The problem is when I have guests, I've got nothing to serve, but I do keep some chocolates for them. I quit drinking coffee. I also quit drinking tea, like the English breakfast tea. The teas that I take are all the herbal teas as approved by Dr. Sebi, and I think the only tea that most people would know would be the chamomile tea. I find that it's simple, it's easy, and I'm quite happy with it. For instance, like when I have chickpeas, I can have that as a savory or a sweet meal. So say I'll have chickpeas, I'll put on coconut flakes, and then I'll put sea salt and cayenne pepper. It's really delicious. But then sometimes I just wanted something sweet. I have that chickpea and coconut flakes, but I will put on agave syrup, and then I add up some walnuts and Brazil nuts, and they're fantastic. That tends to be how I eat now. Very simple. I don't follow any more recipes when I cook a stew or a soup. I cook whatever veggie that I have, and then I'll just add whatever I fancy in terms of herbs and spices. I tend to add a lot of basil, parsley, oregano, and sometimes I just add dill. I tend to use mushroom as my meat substitute. So if I'm cooking a spaghetti, then I will use mushrooms and I'll add walnuts. So that becomes my mincemeat. So drink wise, recently I have been enjoying having a smoothie, and it's quite very simple. Get this from Aldi, like 1/2 cup of frozen raspberries, and then I'll 2.5 cups of spring water and a tablespoon of agave, and I put it in the blender. It's the yummiest drink, which I'll probably make one after I finish this video and before I start editing. Whilst I'm trying to be a minimalist, when it comes to food shopping, I like buying in bulk because I don't want to be going to the supermarket regularly. I prefer to shop online than really going to shops. So going grocery shopping is no longer fun for me. It used to be fun because I'd go there with a full list of ingredients for a recipe, but these days I cook very instinctively. And also there are only 2 types of flavors that I want anyway, either savory or sweet. And if it's savory, you just add sea salt and cayenne pepper, and if it's sweet, then add agave syrup, and that would be it. I do miss milk and cheese. I make milk out of the hemp seed. It's hemp seed, and I put on spring water and put it in the blender, and then it will come out white, like a milky color. But taste wise, it definitely does not have that milky taste. That's something that I'm missing because I do love cheese. With this way of eating, dairy is not recommended. It's not a restrictive diet. In fact, there's a lot of pasta and grains in this diet that I don't really feel deprived. And also, the more I do research on why I should not eat pork and seafood, the more I want to stick with this diet. Because of this lifestyle, I also realized that I don't need a big fridge. You noticed half of my fridge is full of my skincare, cosmetics, and perfume. It's only half filled, and that's how I want it. Although my freezer is full, I really need to food prep because a couple of weeks ago when I was doing my decluttering, I didn't go out and buy any fresh food at all. So I ate whatever was in the fridge or in the freezer, and at the time I was running low on my alkaline food, and I ended up eating some of the acidic food that I have, which was not very good. I decided that I will just do some food prepping, and that's why my freezer is full right now. In my future videos, I will talk about the benefits of each herb that I showed. I do take teas daily. I take my capsules daily, and when I fast, I take my capsules and my herbal teas. A lot of times I don't really need food. And what I'm also noticing is once I start eating the acidic food, or so I call it the normal food, like a snowball, I start craving for all the other acidic food, and so I'm trying not to eat too much of the normal food. All right, that's it. Thank you all for watching. See you again next time. Cheers. Bye bye.